Hey guys, Bowie here, and before this video starts, I'm proud to tell you about Upcomer. They are a great tool for Dota and esports fans that want to stay up to date about what's going on in the scene. Don't know who that stand-in is? The player that you like so much is not playing in a team anymore. You want to know if there's any games you're interested in going on? They got you. Check the video description and the pinned comment for both iOS and Android links. Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is 7.22's new technology, the Offlane Clinkz. Clinkz is one of those heroes that probably got the highest number of changes in the last year or so. We just got hit with the new Aghanim Scepter upgrade from the hero, so it's uncertain where we are going from here. What you need to understand about the new Clinkz is that his new Ags is amazing. You probably read it, and it was like, yikes, this is not good, but there are a couple of interactions that are not straightforward yet amazing on the hero. The first thing you need to remember is that this hero had an ability that would give him about 1000 HP and a lot of damage, and that also healed him after it ended. So this hero could actually get in fights, get kills, survive, and just do it again because he was always full HP, he only needed mana regen. That's not true anymore, and thus Clinkz is way more burstable than before. That's just one of the many problems he has. Aghanim Scepter gives you that and the mana sustain on a hero that has mana problems, but more importantly than that is the fact that you can use Shadow Walk twice to get double skeletons. Even that might feel underwhelming to you, but hold your breath, let's watch the laning stage first. Before we even begin, it's a given that this hero can only work in the offlane with a lane partner or against a very weak solo safe laner. The reason Clinkz is a good laner is that he can harass a lot, and now with the buffs to Searing Arrows costing pretty much half the mana, you can crush lanes. You deal less damage per attack, yes, but you can deal way more damage in lane, especially with the items that Iceiceice goes for. I'm not the biggest support Kunkka advocate, but it works really well this game because Clinkz has mana and HP regen problems, and the Kunkka can solve it all with the XTP back. But in general, any melee hero in lane with Clinkz is amazing because he will be a mid shield to you, allowing you to dish damage non-stop. Ice gets his first kill in lane and thanks to some good juking, survives to keep laning. That's okay, but what really matters in this lane, and the fact that Ice gets that kill and crushes this game, is one simple normal attack that draws aggro. Note that Iceiceice does that even though he could just attack without drawing aggro. After all, that's one of the benefits of Clinkz in the first place. Sven on the other hand was feeling bloodlust and he doesn't do the same. Not only this means Radiant's range creep dies very quickly, it baits them into a perfect torrent, killing the Chen and pushing the lane while Iceiceice survives. This means that Iceiceice farms close to his tower for 1 minute until Dire can fix this. Dire pulls, but because Iceiceice was able to farm uncontested, he is now level 3 and it's trivial to kill the Chen once again and get the camp for himself. Note that he doesn't kill all of the creeps. By saving this one and bringing it back to the lane, he can actually create more pressure in the lane so that the lane pushes and he farms close to his tower again. Since the lane is that pushed, Sven cannot get close, and when he steps even a little after the side chop, he gets taken down. Yes, Clinkz is good against melee heroes, but the way Iceiceice constantly messes with creep equilibrium is what allows him to get a good lane and a good game in the first place. Now that he won the lane, we should talk about itemization on Clinkz, and it's hard to talk about it without understanding how Burning Army works. It doesn't proc Maelstrom or crits, it does not gain attack speed, it only cares about your base damage and attack range. Diffusal Blade, it's popular on the hero, even though you don't burn mana with your scaling burrows. It's just about the slow, making Burning Army better, and because it's one of the items that gives you the highest base damage for the gold you pay. You're playing offlane Clinkz though. What I think are the core items that Clinkz must have is Soul Ring for the mana issues and also the extra HP, and Medallion. You're already starting with Blightstone anyways. It gives you tower push, it gives you kill potential, it gives you mana regen and armor. At least one Wraithman is always advisable to have, and Treads is the best boot on this hero. Tread switching will always be super powerful. By the way, Clinkz is also a good offlaner because he has above average pushing power even without Vlads or a catapult wave. He's actually able to get the tier 1 top tower after zoning the Sven, opening up the space on the map. He has vision of multiple enemies around the map, so he can just go for it. Now that the tower is down and treads are completed, he can tread switch to look for the Sven. Note that while he doesn't get the kill, he already pushed the Sven out of the lane, and now he pushes him out of the jungle. This hero is not going to feel as flashy when he's played in the offlane, but what matters here is that he can zone melee safe laners really well, and while Clinkz doesn't look super terrifying, Sven looks like a plushie. Ice keeps chasing the Sven and eventually kills him with the Juggernaut. What you need to understand about this hero is that while he has a huge downtime without his ult, you're not supposed to jungle unless there's absolutely nothing else you can do. This hero has mobility and can scout enemies. He also pushes waves, although not super fast. It's just unacceptable to be hitting camps when you can hunt down supports, and if you cannot hunt down the supports, you should be pushing the lane in the first place, and that takes a while with Clinkz. Another big part of how Iceiceice plays the mid game here is that he has vision of the enemy shrine, and if you're playing that lane, you need to have vision of the enemy shrine so you can prepare. Clinkz is already a hero that is very hard to kill, so if you have that vision, it's just so unlikely that the enemy can kill you, and even if they do, more often than not, it's not going to be worth it for them. Since he is there, and since he has that vision, he can kill the siege creep, creating pressure on the top tier 2 tower already. The only hero right now that threatens Iceiceice at this stage is the Nyx Assassin, and he has vision of him, so he just goes for another wave. This forces Sven plus AA Blast to be committed without acquiring anything, and ultimately killing the Sven again since Burning Army is up. This is the first time Iceiceice goes back to base, and just goes to show how treads and soul range stretches what you can do in the early game. Note that when you're playing the hero from this position, you're not really focusing that much on your DPS, but actually your map presence. By maxing Skeleton Walk, you can pressure more lanes faster, you can run away from ganks, and overall use your time better. Right after going back to base, he runs towards the Sven again, and that's another case of Ice not being able to kill the hero, but you're trading farm on a position 3 for a position 1, which is inherently a great trade. This is where the support Kunkka makes everything even better. While Ice is in the same shitty situation as the Sven, no HP, no mana, he can quickly go back to the base and regen with the X. He makes sure to salve and clarity the Kunkka, and Burning Army is once again about to be ready. Note that to this point, Ice never hit a jungle creep, and he's not starting now. With Burning Army, he feels strong enough to pressure tier 2, especially with Kunkka behind him and vision of enemies showing. He cannot be mid to help his team, so the only play is forcing this tower. The medallion keeps the creeps healthy, and his damage is substantial to say the least. Note that since he attacks with Wind Treads on and has Soul Ring, he barely spent any mana while doing a lot of damage to the tower and forcing a glyph. Thanks to the Shrine Ward that they have, they catch a glimpse of Dire grouping to defend, and a fight starts. Even with Hand of God, the Tiny falls prey to the damage of the Burning Army. This spell can be underwhelming on solo kills, especially if you're offlaning, but the distraction and the damage it does in big fights is ridiculous. This is an unfortunate game because when Iceiceice finishes his eggs, the game is almost over anyways, but I want to show a game where that was not the case. Bryle is playing mid Clinkz in this other game, and he goes for a Dragonlance and Diffusal Blade before Aghanims in this scenario. And I'm completely okay with it. As a mid hero, you're supposed to fight more often, and Diffusal Blade gives you that kill potential early on. It also allows you to farm jungle and ancients. Overall, the role of an offlane Clinkz is going to be different from a mid Clinkz. You do have to scale a little bit better when you're playing mid. Anyways, the first thing Eggs gives you is insane move speed. Clinkz here has 570 move speed with brown boots alone. This is the greatest type of fight with Clinkz. Your team pressuring a tower while you can pincer around the enemy team. Note that since Shadow Walk was committed a long time ago, Bryle can summon 4 Scaling Bros, totaling 10 with Burning Army being utilized. While Radiant retreats, it's just impossible to commit for this objective, meaning you just brute force whatever you want. The gold advantage is not big here, and Clinkz himself is not even that farmed. In my opinion, the level 10 talent on this hero is the only one that actually gives you any choice. Aghanim Scepter just makes this hero so good that you just want to choose the searing damage, attack range, and multi-shot later. This means all of your Scaling Bros attack with 900 plus attack range. Just look at this fight after Bryle survives a huge commitment from Radiant. You might think that the 2 skeletons don't do anything, but they really do, especially when you can have 4 with pretty little commitment. One of your big weaknesses is still subpar wave clear, considering you're playing a core, and that's why you should avoid hitting jungle creeps 99% of the time. Bryle did it from time to time, but if you're below 6k MMR, you can be damn sure you're more likely to be doing the right thing not hitting jungle creeps than if you're hitting jungle creeps. It's important to know that we're almost at 40 minutes and Clinkz still has Soul Ring and Clarities. You really need that even with Eggs until you get an item like Shadow Visor or Orchid later on for that extra mana regen. 4 skeletons might seem like nothing as we talked about, but even 2 are enough to kill the Bane here, and the beauty of it is that even if the support is fast with a stun, your scaling bros will still be there for you. The fact that this hero is king of teamfights and still average at roshing, pushing towers, makes him a pretty well-rounded hero for this meta, being also flexible for lanes as we just noted with mid and offlane Clinkz looking good, and I'm pretty sure safe lane Clinkz is alright as well. Guys, thank you very much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you care about this channel, check the Patreon rewards to see if any of them interest you. You can also check all my social media over here. Thank you for watching. Bye.